Well, there is very little that is essentially known about this entire case. So what are the options available before the family members and as far as the Indian government is concerned? Former Indian ambassador to Qatar, KP Fabian, has spoken exclusively to Republic TV and said that India and Qatar share a very crucial trade and bilateral relationship, and the negotiation is the only way forward. He's also said that the Indian government and the Ministry of External Affairs should formally put a request to the Qatar government for a pardon. Listen in to what Ambassador Fabian had to tell my colleague Simran.
Well, we have to go by what is available in the public domain, because understandably both governments have been rather reluctant to pass on information on such a sensitive subject. So from what is available on the public domain, it is clear that it was a question of alleged spying. And some reports have indicated, you might also have seen, that the spying was done on behalf of Israel. So this is what we know from the public domain. And then we also know, again from the public domain, that these 7 officers, commanders, captains, and 1 sailor, they have been working with a particular company, Oman headquartered company, and that company has been had a contract with Qatari Navy for rendering services, including the midget submarine from Italy, to sort of make the Qatari Navy acquainted how to make use of it and all that. So it was very sensitive. So this is what has happened, namely, very sensitive defense-related information. The allegation or the charge has been sort of, parted with, and that to another country. So that is the allegation. Now, we have also to understand that while the trial was going on, trial started in March this year, and the 7th trial was over yesterday. Was in October, and the verdict was given yesterday. So what we have to understand is that when the trial is on, there is no point in asking His Highness the Amir to give a pardon, because pardon comes after the verdict, not before the verdict. But understandably, the families have been asking for it, the pardon, which is again understandable. After all, we are all human beings. So my view is that, taking into account the larger context of relations between State of Qatar and India, 8 lakhs of Indians are in Qatar, so many of them holding professional positions, doctors, engineers, managers, and also the deepening commercial relations, because the trade is bilateral trade was about $15 billion, 21-22, heavily in favor of if you look at the balance, heavily in favor of Qatar, because we buy LNG from them. Not only LNG, ethylene, urea, ammonia, things like that. So it is heavily in favor of Qatar, say 13 billion and 2 billion India, that sort of thing. And don't forget, more than 40% of our LNG imports are from Qatar. And if you look at Qatar's export of LNG, well, 15% goes to India. So the trade relationship is very, very strong. And not only that, there is scope for expanding it further. and about 6,000 Indian companies are working there. You know what I mean? And Qatar Investment Authority is planning to open an office in India. You know that they have invested in Adani ports, and they have invested in Byju's. You know, so that's just calculating 3 investments which I could see. It came to about $700 million, recent investments. And so there is much scope there also.